邪魔すんじゃねえよ。
What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And as you guys would have seen, yeah, we did the off-screen ski multi, the one last multi after all of the multis that I did on part 1. One additional multi actually netted us Ulti in page 1. Now, in this video, we're going to be using them in the current Garp challenges that are available as of the recording of this video, which is going to be Doflamingo, Heavenly Demon, Eneru, and the Worst Generation. I don't remember exactly what's going to be on the reset later this month, but hopefully we'll see what happens. But either way, I'm very much looking forward to showing you guys what Ulti and Page 1 have to offer. This character is a very interesting one. So before we actually get into the actual Garp challenges, I do want to quickly break them down. So Ulti and Page 1 are a dual unit, obviously. This character in Ulti form is going to be quick-driven powerhouse, whereas in the Page 1 form, it is a dex-driven powerhouse. Now, these characters' captain effects are relatively similar. They're both boosting driven and powerhouse by a different multiplier. With Ulti, it's 4.5 with the matching slot, 4 times otherwise, recovery and tandem and matching, and then if there are marked enemies, it reduces damage taken by 20%. Marked enemies are a new kind of thing that this character is kind of abusing. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But alternatively, if you have Page 1 as your captain, it's essentially the exact same captain effect. Instead of the multiplier being depending on if you have a matching slot or not, it's just a flat 4.25 times instead. And that's basically it. As for the special ability though of this character, this special ability does 300 times their attack in typeless damage to all enemies, changes all slots into matching, removes target lock status, and they fuse for 3 turns. But it says if your captain is either driven or powerhouse, it applies a marked status on enemies with HP of 10 million or more and gives you a 2.25 times conditional boost against characters that are marked enemies. So it's like a new type of gimmick that this character is kind of abusing. Essentially, if there's an enemy with 10 million HP or more, you get a free 2.25 times conditional boost against that character. So that's both a good and a bad thing because, you know, it's a guaranteed conditional boost. Immunity does not stop this, but the enemy does have to have that threshold of HP, which can be difficult in certain pieces of content, and one piece of content that you'll see later on in this video. Now, the big thing about this character is that this character gets access to a really good switch effect. The switch effect removes paralysis off of themselves, which really doesn't matter that much. It also gives themselves a matching slot, but also gives a chain boundary, starting your chain at 1.6, and it maxes out at 35, but then they have super swap. If you swap 6 times with this character, the next switch will do the exact same effect, except that the chain boundary will last for 2 turns, and it starts at 2.5 times instead, essentially like a Wano Law chain boundary with a super swap, which is incredibly powerful. One thing that we didn't touch up on very briefly is their dual captain effect, being a 5 times boost if you have a matching slot to driven and powerhouse, 4.75 times otherwise, and then also, instead of making just recovery and tandem beneficial, it also makes dex and quick slots counters beneficial to your crew, and also does 500 times their attack in type damage at the end of the turn, so kind of like a V1 Kaido style of effect, and also still maintaining damage reduction against marked enemies. But the captain effect is probably the weakest part of this entire unit's kit, unfortunately, as it is. So that is the brief breakdown of Ulti and Page 1 here. Let's go ahead now and talk about them a little bit more as we have a look at the content versus the Garp challenges. Jumping into this video right now, we have the Heavenly Demon Garp challenge, and for each of these clips, we do use double Ulti Page 1, except for the last clip. The last clip, we do run a hybrid team, and there's a very key reason as to why I decided to do that, and we'll talk more about that once we reach the Worst Generation Garp challenge, okay? But let's go ahead and break down this team and how it's taking on Heavenly Demon. Now, I did use a very similar strategy going through with Yamato, having a Moria character with the support of Kuma to allow us to get rid of the 4 turns of initial despair on stage 2. That's ridiculous. And then Moria is going to help us a little bit later on the treble stage, so we'll talk more about that a little bit later. But then we've also got this free-to-play Rumble Blackbeard, who is a powerhouse character. He's a quick unit, so works well for the team, but he actually removes paralysis, and he also sets enemies' defense to 0, and he's an orb booster. He's actually a perfect unit for this particular stage, getting around all the debuffs, helping us get through it so much easier. And of course, you can't forget the switch ability of Ulti in page 1. Every time you activate that switch effect, as you guys may have seen a little bit earlier on in the video where we went through the character breakdown, they generate chain boundary every single turn. They start your chain at 1.6. Now what this means is it basically gives you 2 perfects for free, because on your first perfect, your chain goes to 1.3, and on your second perfect, your chain goes to 1.6. That's how the natural progression of chains go when you hit perfects. Now what Ulti in page 1 do, as we said, giving you 1.6 chain, it basically starts you off as if you've already hit 2 perfects. So that's great. It means that your last chain is going to get an additional 0.6, which I believe will get out to a 3.1 times chain, I think, when you activate their regular switch. And then of course when you get access to their super swap, generating the 2-turn 2.5 times chain boundary. That's ridiculous, especially if you're able to partner up with a character that released recently, Legend King, who not only provides an orb boost to quick units, driven and powerhouse units, but also can provide a chain boost. Now of course we do know that the Legend Queen that also released alongside King is also a chain boundary unit, but it's nice that you can get access to this type of effect literally just with their switch effect. And of course you're mainly supposed to be using Ulti page 1 under the captain of 6-star Yamato, because Yamato provides a very good chain boost, chain multiplier as well with the super type, and then the chain boundary that you can stack on top of it to make sure that chain multiplier is going to go as high as you possibly can get it. And the captain ability of Ulti page 1 actually isn't that bad. In terms of multiplier, I'm actually not a fan of their captain effect, but I do like the multipliers for a dual unit anyway. You know, ranging from a 4 times to a 4.5 times. With Ulti, you know, it depends if you get a matching slot or not, but then with page 1 being a flat 4.25 times boost, I mean, that's actually pretty respectable, and you can get through content with that. But obviously, because they are a dual unit, in my opinion, I feel they definitely have way more usability as a crewmate on your team, and we'll talk more about that throughout the video. But anyways, you can enjoy it here. We get the 2.25 times conditional on this stage versus Doflamingo. Moving on now to the second team versus Eneru. This team actually features a character that I used recently on the Legends of OPTC series, which is the 3-day 2-year Sanji. This character has not seen a lot of play in a really long time, however, very useful for this team, and the main reason for that is because he can have the support of Quick Rare Recruit Pudding to enable us to remove that really annoying stun debuff on the final stage. But also Sanji's a 2 times attack boost to the powerhouse, and we have a full team of powerhouse characters aside from Zoro, which doesn't really matter that much, and that just helps us out a lot. It's very nice to have. And now I do run V1 Kaido as a sub because it just helps with getting through these mob stages. Unfortunately, Kaido was special binded on stage 2. There's nothing really we could do about that, but you know, we're able to activate it a little bit later to help us get through some of these stages a little bit easier. But we also use Hyozo Rare Recruit, which helps us on the final stage because he has fear resistance, and that's one of the really annoying gimmicks that Eneru does on the final stage. He gives you that fear, and then he also special binds your crew. So Hyozo can help us get rid of that, and he can remove the special bind off of our characters. And then we have the really powerful special once again of Ulti in page 1, providing a 2.25 times conditional boost against any enemy with 10 million or more HP, and if they have a full immunity, if they have a barrier, it don't matter. They just do so much damage against them, and that's part of the reason why I believe Ulti and page 1 are going to be a very good sub moving forward. As a captain though, I'm not really a big fan, and the reason for that is because their captain effect at face value, in most circumstances, you're just going to be getting, you know, that attack multiplier and maybe a couple of matching slots. If you are running a full powerhouse team, you could literally just use the Zunisha ship to get the same kind of effect. But you know, it is annoying that their captain effect doesn't make, you know, the quick or the dex slots beneficial. You only get that effect if they're in their dual captain form. I think it would have been a way better situation if their single captain effects made like recovery or tandem, and then they, you know, obviously would boost or make the color that they are matching. So Ulti could make like quick and recovery matching, and then page 1 could be tandem and deck slots. I think that would have been way better rather than both of the single captain effects, both boosting or just making the recovery and tandem beneficial. I feel like that maybe is a mistype or a misdevelopment. I don't know what they were doing here, but definitely a missed opportunity that they could have had way more matching slots as a captain, which overall would have made them more usable. And the fact that their damage reduction only activates if you're against a marked enemy is also very strange. It would have made so much more sense if it was just flat, passive, you know, damage reduction all the time. Again, another really weird design choice for this character, and part of the reason why I believe this character is just a terrible captain in most cases, considering how many other really powerful, driven, and powerhouse characters that we have. And now we can go ahead and move on to the final clip of this video versus Worst Generation. I did mention earlier on in the video that this is the only clip that you'll see in this video where we don't run a double Ulti and page 1 team. Now there's one massive reason as to why Ulti and page 1 are absolutely terrible for the Worst Generation. And the problem spans from the fact that there are no enemies in the Worst Generation quest that have more than 10 million HP. Yeah, I was pretty blown away when I heard about that as well. All the enemies on the final stage, Luffy, Law, and Kid, all have 7 million health. Blackbeard on the stage prior has 8 million health. So this means that Ulti and page 1 are never going to get their conditional boost to activate here, so their special ability is, at most, is going to give you just a full board of matching slots, and yeah, obviously you can use their special to get their buffed captain effect, but using 2 characters of this caliber on a team where they don't give you any conditional boost, it's literally a huge waste. And I tried a lot of different teams to try and get, you know, double Ulti page 1 to work. I mean, look, there probably is a team that gets double Ulti page 1 to work. That's awesome. Shout out to that guy. I don't know who it is, but I decided to go with King as a friend captain, and it worked amazingly. And I do prefer running the hybrid, and it just felt better, you know? We are using the brand new Arena Shutenmaru or Ashura Doji character. I do have the support of Smoker attached to him, really good because we're able to get his conditional boost to activate, and it also removes the damage threshold on the Zoro and Killer stage, and because of that Smoker support activating, giving our quick characters a 1.75 times attack boost, it does enable King's captain effect to launch his special on that following stage, giving us an orb boost versus Blackbeard, making that stage easier to kill so we can conserve a King special for that final boss room. Makes things a lot easier, right? We do also have the super type Kaido and also the Whitebeard as a sub here. Those 2 characters both have crewmate effects that resist blow away, and we do use the support of 6+ Strong Mode Ace attached to Whitebeard. Now, unfortunately, it has to be a Whitebeard or a Marco character that does a damage dealing special. And weirdly enough, 6+ Quickbeard does not do damage with his special, only the 6-star version does. So we had to use the 6-star version with a support, and it gives us 2 turns of Orb Lock, conserving those slots for the Blackbeard stage, so we can conserve the slots for the final room. And of course, we want to make sure we keep as many tandem slots as possible for the captain ability of Sober Mask, because he is our target character we want to be the captain. You know, obviously you can make Kaido put in the middle row, but having all 6 characters available for the final boss stage definitely made a big difference here, just because Ulti page 1's conditional doesn't activate. But that is going to conclude this video, guys. Really hope you guys have enjoyed this one today, and if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.